Well, here we go. Welcome to Thursday evening, and it's about us. Hope it's going to be fun tonight. We're going to have a few things to talk about. That's how I talk. I'm crazy. Um, but welcome everyone. And I just realized that I have an intro video, right? And it uses the old name. It's not about me. It's about us. I actually went and created one special for this week and forgot to upload it. So there you have it. So next week will be good. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Thank you if you are with me live, and thank you if you are watching the recording. It's all good. And if you are watching live, please say hello so that I can say hello back and greet you. So yeah, settle in, and we've got a fun hour ahead. So what's new? So what's new? Well, before I can talk about what's new, let me do this. Okay, what's new? So a little over a week ago, I went out and to Costco and purchased some glasses frames and lenses. I ordered two, regular pair with the progressive lenses, and they had a special. I got some sunglasses at 40% off. Well, one pair has arrived. I got texted that one pair has arrived. I'm waiting for the second pair to arrive, and then I'll go get them. I don't want to make two trips, right? One trip. So next week's show, I'll have my new eyeglasses. Very exciting. That's good. That's very, very exciting. So that's pretty much what's new. I know. Boring, but that's what's new. And so it's exciting to me. And I like sharing things. So one of the things, and maybe it's because of the eyeglasses, I'm so excited. Today I went out and I haven't, my favorite adult beverage to drink is sake. So tonight, this afternoon, I went out to the store and I got a bottle of sake. There it is right there. And it's a Yoshinogawa. Okay. Golden Horizon since 1548. Should be cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour myself a little some. Sounds like a mathematics thing. It's not. I mean, it could be, I suppose. Here we go. Childproof lid is off. And let me see what I got here. So back in the day, I got myself some sake set, right? So I'll try not to spill anything. You just never know, though. All right. Here we go. And here we go. Now, any other time, I might have put it in the microwave for a minute just to warm it up. Because sake is good hot or cold. When I was out shopping, the cashier at the register was talking. They'd never had sake before and was asking me about it, hot, cold, whatever. And I think when it's clear, like what I have, hot, cold, room temperature, it's all good. But with the unfiltered, it's kind of milky, or there's sometimes a sediment in the bottom. I think that is better hot. But I don't know for sure. It's been a long time since I researched all the nuances of sake. So let me get a hold of it here. And I got these nice little sake cups, which you're supposed to sip them. Sometimes I don't sip, and I have to refill it all over again. So let me pour myself one here. Here we go. There's one for me. Okay, there's one for me. And I'm going to sit that down over here. And I'm going to get one for you. So I'm going to pretend like someone's with me, that you're with me. Maybe someday you will be with me. You never know. So I'll pour another one here for you. And there you go. This one's yours. And I'm going to set it right next to mine. There you go. All right. I'll set this little sake picture down. And this one's mine. Cheers. Happy Thursday. Oh, that is so good. It's been so long. Oh, it's very smooth. This one's very smooth. Yeah. I can recommend it. I've never had a sake that I never liked. This one is nice and smooth. So there you have it. So how are you this evening? I'm doing pretty well. Been looking forward to the show. I'm really appreciative of the weather we've been having. I mean, last week was like hotter than all get out. Today it was incredibly nice. I had a beautiful day, and I'm curious to see how you might be feeling. So put a chat in, leave a comment in the chat, and let me know how you're doing. Okay. I was listening to a podcast, the heat wave in the Northwest United States, Oregon, Washington, British Columbia, made national news, and people died. It was horrendous. And scientists have been working. They almost went to work immediately to determine whether or not climate change had anything to do with it. And it was very extreme change. I mean, summer can go from summer and it can increase 1 or 2, maybe even 3 degrees. This was a 10-degree change. And what they were saying was that it's so extreme that there's no way that it can be normal. And it definitely has all the markings of having been influenced by climate change. The other thing they said was that in times past, that whereas that type of heat wave that we experienced was like 1 every 100 years or so, or even more, this is going to become more common. It's going to be 1 in every 3 to 5 years, maybe even every year. So things are changing on the West Coast. We've been in an extended drought. We've been there before. That's not new. But this heat on top of it, the fire season has started early. And apparently a lot of sea life died because the coastal waters were too warm up north, Washington, British, that area. Yeah, so it's something that we're going to be experiencing, and it's going to change our world. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. So, yeah, there's other things that are going to change our world. I guess as long as we're on climate change, let me pull this on. I saw this headline, and it really struck me. One of the things that we depend on is plant life changing carbon dioxide into oxygen, photosynthesis, right? Plants do it. That's what they're best at. The greatest source of oxygen for that carbon-oxygen exchange is phytoplankton in the ocean. That's where the largest amount happens. So if our oceans start dying, that's pretty serious. But the second one of the second biggest ones is the Amazon rainforest. And so let me just share this. This is a headline that I saw the other day that was a little disturbing. Here it is. Amazon rainforest now emitting more CO2 than it absorbs. And it's not due to photosynthesis. It's not due to something biological in the plant that's taking place exactly. But they've done so much cutting of the Amazon forest and burning that, you see all that smoke and that fire? That it's just tossing the carbon dioxide up into the air like nobody's business. And they're saying that they've come to a tipping point where the plants that are alive, there aren't enough of them to offset the amount of CO2 that's being put into the air. So there's a net reduction in CO2 being absorbed, and it's staying in the atmosphere. And it's been pretty serious. So, here it says growing trees and plants have taken up about a quarter of all fossil fuel emissions since 1960, with the Amazon playing a major role as the largest tropical forest. And yeah, so we're in trouble. There's our president. we're in trouble. Let's see if I can find another picture in here. There may not be another, but no, there's not. But I mean, it's Googleable. You can go out there and you can find all kinds of information on this. So yeah, I mean, we're in uncharted water. We really truly are, and we have to be careful. We have to be careful with how we live. I mean, this is our, where are we going to go? Right? We're stuck here. So we best do our best to take care of it. Right? Excuse me. Now, if you thought that was bad, check this out. So this is from NASA, and this is really recent. This is from NASA. It's really amazing to me that they can even figure this stuff out. Where are you? Here we are. Here's NASA. Hi, NASA. Okay. NASA warns moon wobble could lead to more flooding more often. So apparently, there's our beloved moon. Apparently, this wobble takes place every, let's see, it's been going on, they've been noticing it since 1728. And it's every 18 years or so. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's terrible. More great news. See if I can spot that number real quick. Probably not. No, that's okay. Anyway, so it's moon wobble. So sometime in the 2030s, what's going to happen is the moon's going to wobble, and it's going to affect our tides. So low tides will be lower and high tides will be higher. And that's on top of rising sea levels. And so what they're anticipating is greater flooding in the coastal areas. And they're also saying in Hawaii and Guam that they're going to see some serious flooding sometime by the 2030s. I saw one article that said as early as 2024. So we'll see. But, I'll still be old enough. I should be around. See, that's going to be what? 9 years from now? That would make me 74. Yeah. So I'll only be 74. So I should be still around. I'm planning on it. It's not something I want to see. It's not something that we can do anything about. So the moon wobble, that's going to happen. The only thing we can do is mitigate what's going on in our atmosphere so that sea levels don't rise so high. It may be too late for that. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. So the news I've got to share with y'all tonight, it's not great news. But I do have some interesting things to share also. But it's not great news. We just need to be really super careful about things. So one of the things I listen to, I have an app on my phone with Capital Public Radio. And so I get updates from them all the time. And I saw recently some statistics in regards to COVID for Sacramento County. Because there are things going on. Sacramento County made a decision today, and we're going to talk about that. So let's take a look at this report from Capital Public Radio. Sacramento County says wear a mask indoors, even if you're vaccinated. Well, we knew that. That was coming. But they also gave some numbers here. As of Thursday, our case rate is 10.4 per 100,000 people. It's up from 8 per 100,000 people earlier this week. And it was just 3.8 per 100,000 on June 20th. And it's more than double the statewide case rate of 4.3 per 100,000. So Sacramento has one of the highest case rates in California. So it's not to fool around at all. Yeah, it's pretty tough. And what we're going to take a look at another article that talks about the whole masking thing, just so that we're aware of what's going on. This is I think it's from the Sacramento Bee, but let's just take a look here and see for sure who I've got it from. It's a YouTube video. And it's Sacramento County recommends fully vaccinated people wear masks indoors. Yeah, it's an important thing. I was thinking about playing the video, but I'm not going to. What it basically recommends is that even if you're fully vaccinated, double dosed for the Pfizer and the Moderna, single dosed for the Johnson and Johnson, that it's important to mask up indoors in a crowded area, right? That's the suggestion. And personally, I'm going to take that suggestion. Um, I'm not going to risk it. I mean, Sacramento, health wise, COVID wise, is not a good place. And the last statistic I saw was that fully vaccinated gives me about 88.8% effectiveness in preventing the disease. That leaves me 12% where I could contract it. 12% is pretty good. But worse than that is that I could potentially be a carrier and give it to someone else. And that is definitely something I don't want to do because I think we only have something like 48% people fully vaccinated in Sacramento County. Not even half, not even half. So there's still a lot of people who are not vaccinated in this county. So I'm going to try to do my part to show I care and wear a mask in an indoor crowded situation. Yeah, that's my plan. That's my plan. I'm going to share one more thing, and something that I just popped onto my radar just recently. One of my good friends is his name is Uli. He lives in Berkeley, and he has a show. It's called Welcome to My Brain. It's every Wednesday night at 9:00, and I watch it on Twitch, which is you just type in Twitch, and it's Champagne Music Box is the name of his account. So it's Twitch, Champagne Music Box, and you'll find Welcome to My Brain. It's a very fun show. It lasts about an hour. He's from Germany. I met him many years ago. He's from Germany. And so this popped up. It's it's kind of concerning. I'm just going to keep my eye on what's going on over there. And it's also seems to be something that has to do with climate change. I mean, it's a global change thing, right? That's the whole thing with climate. Weather is local, climate is global. So at least 44 dead, dozens missing. And let me just turn this ad off. There you go. Dozens missing as floods sweep through Western Europe. Take a look at this. Look at that. That, unbelievable. Very sad. Very, very sad. Look at that. I don't know what town this is. Let me just, okay, you can go away. Yeah, there you go. Water's pouring in. Looks like it's coming down the street, down the steps. Oh, man. Look at that. It doesn't say where it is. Unbelievable, though, right? Unbelievable. All right. So sad, right? Unbelievable. The things that are going on in this world, and we are just entering into the extreme weather that they've predicted. We're just now heading into it. We've seen some extreme weather events, but we're entering into a phase of weather and climate that we have yet to have seen. I mean, it's gonna be all brand new. On that note, I need a sip of sake. Okay, that doesn't make it any better, but anyway. So what I'm going to share with you, there's something called a brinicle. Have you ever heard of a brinicle? If you've heard of a brinicle, say something in the chat box. So I know you've heard of brinicles. I'd never heard of a brinicle. That was brand new to me. And when I saw the video, I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that could even happen. So something that happens in salt water in the ocean, right? And we know brine. Brine is very salty salt water. Well, salt water has a much lower freezing temperature than regular water does. So what happens when ocean water gets really cold? So this may be climate change, I don't know. But anyway, when salt water gets really cold, what happens is the regular water freezes and separates out from the brine. Now the brine is heavier. I mean, it's colder, right? So it's heavier. Cold water, like cold air, sinks. I use this in sinks. So what happens is that the regular water freezes out. It separates out from the brine, which leaves like a tube. You have a tube of ice, and on the inside, you've got this brine. The brine's heavier, so it drops. And as it drops, it freezes the water, right? And so this tube rather, goes down. So what we're going to see this tube forming. We're going to be able to see the distortion in the water from the brine. It's like, like on a hot summer day from the pavement, you can see the heat coming off the pavement, right? The distortion in the air. Well, you can see the distortion in the water from the brine. So it's, and then you'll see, and then they play they speed up the film, and you can actually see this ice tube come down and hit the bottom. There's a whole bunch of starfish. So it's like fast motion because these starfish are moving quick. And if you've ever seen a starfish, they don't move quickly. Nope. So that's how you know. So that's what we're going to see. And let me pull it up here. I'm going to have the sound turned off, but I'll be able to talk about it as we watch. We'll try to point things out as we go. Let's go ahead and wait. There we go, Chris. First things first, right? Okay, it's called The Icicle of Death. So let's make it full screen here. There we go. We're going to make it even. No, that's exit full screen. I don't want to exit full screen. I want to leave it full screen. All right. I guess that's as good as we're going to get, right? So let me go ahead and we're going to start this video. Okay, so there's the ice tube, and you can see the distortion here as the brine water is falling out of this ice tube. There it is. See that? It's pretty incredible, right? So we're underwater. This is all underwater in the ocean. So up here, the ocean's frozen. There it is. You can see the brine dropping out of this ice tube. See it? There it is. That's really clear. You can see this. Pretty amazing. There's all the little starfishes. Now look at that. Here comes that ice tube. And when it touches, bam, look at that. Now, it takes a long time for this to take place, but eventually it just freezes the seafloor. And anything that's there gets frozen. So these starfishes that get caught in this, they get frozen. Look at that. To me, that's just amazing. It's unbelievable. There's a little sea urchin. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. There you can see the ice tube come down there, and then this path of frozen seawater as the brine traveled. I mean, that's just incredible. Poor starfish that got caught in it. All right. Oh, that is so wild. That's unbelievable to me. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah, it's just, our world is amazing, absolutely amazing. And it's worked great for, a long time, billions of years. And we're getting to a point now where it's still going to work. The Earth's going to be fine, but life may have challenges. We'll have challenges. We'll just have to see how this goes. The Earth eventually will be fine again, especially once we are gone. Once humans are gone, unless we learn how to live in harmony with our world, and we're still here, at which point the earth will begin healing itself. It can do that, I think. It can do that. I mean, it's seen a catastrophe before, right? When the dinosaurs were annihilated, it came back. Life came back. So I have hope for the earth. I'm not so sure I have hope for humanity. But you never know. You never know. So how's everybody doing tonight? Hope you're doing fine. If you've just checked in, be sure to say hello so that I can greet you. Say hi back. I always like saying hi to folks that are out there. It encourages me. It encourages me. This is a fun hobby. You know, I would probably be doing this even if there was nobody watching, but I'm always thankful that there are people watching. But it's about us, right? And without you, there's no us. And I've said that, I think I say that every time. Without you, there's no us. And so I'm really appreciative and hope that we can create a place where we can chat about things, chat about, COVID, chat about climate, chat about our world, chat about, what in the world's going on. What in the world is going on? Have you seen what's going on over in Cuba? We haven't talked about Cuba. I have a friend who's from Cuba. He was born in Cuba. He's lived in the United States for a very long time, lives in Elk Grove. And I believe has family and friends still in Cuba. So I'm very much in touch with what's going on there and paying attention to what's going on there. And so at some point, maybe we'll have a discussion on what's going on in Cuba. But, I think just to touch on it briefly, regimes don't last forever. And even when it looks really dire, things can still change. Even if it seems like it's like you'd think that with security the way it is today and the internet and electronics and surveillance and all that stuff, it would be harder to have a revolution or a protest than it was, say, 50 years ago. People are still doing it, though. They're not giving up. People are not giving up. And so I think there's something to be said about humanity and civilization, that even when it looks dreary, there's still hope. It's just a matter of time and looking at the long game rather than what's happening right now. So I am always encouraged. Always encouraged. Anyway, one of the things that I like to do is offer people to call in. So let me go ahead and get that all set up here. Let's see here. Here we go. So there's the call-in number, 916-545-5376. And let me get my little phony up here. It's not phony. It's a phone. It's not a phony phone. Well, it is a phony phone, but it's still a phone. And so if you want to call in, you will be on air. People will be able to hear you. That'd be great. And I can hear you and we can chat if you want. I mean, that's always an option. I'm always going to be doing this. And one of these days, someone's going to call and I'll be surprised. But it'll be fun. Look forward to it. And I'll leave it open for a while because you just never know. Never know. Anyway, I made a graphic too. I'm going to show this to you real quick. I want to get music for it because I think this will be something that we talk about, because this topic now isn't going away. I'm going to call it a COVID minute. And it's where we can talk about, what's going on, how we're feeling about it. Maybe we feel it's ridiculous. Maybe we feel like it's not as bad as people say. Maybe we feel that it's worse than people say. Maybe it's something that creates anxiety when we go out. Maybe, just what's going on with us. So I want to provide an opportunity for us to talk. And so I'm going to create a COVID minute where we can do that. We'll get an update on what's currently going on. So Yuba County did this mask thing a few days ago where they said, look, if you are already fully vaccinated, we suggest that you wear a mask when you go indoors with a group of people. And now Sacramento County has followed suit. And I'm guessing that we're going to start seeing that, especially up here in Northern California, because counties, even though they've got they've got political boundaries, they don't have geographical ones. And so, if the virus is increasing here, chances are it's increasing in El Dorado County, it's increasing in Placer County, it might be increasing in San Joaquin County. I mean, who really knows, right? So we just have to pay attention to what's going on. It's one of those things where ignorance may be bliss, but it can be harmful to your health. So being aware is the name of the game. And sake time. And here's the other thing. Maybe people are interested in a topic that I haven't thought of. And so I'm well open to suggestions. So one of the things I'm still experimenting with, I had to check because I think I've shown this to you before. It's called Sidecar, where I can use my iPad as a second screen, right? And there it goes. You can't see it because I turned it off. There you go. There it is. You can't see it. You can sort of see it, but that's Google Voice. That's where I take my phone calls, Google Voice. So I've got it here right at my side. So if I hear a call coming in, I can answer it real quickly. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, so I've been experimenting with where the show's being broadcast. So right now it's Twitch and YouTube, which works fine. Now, Facebook, I can stream to my personal page. I also have a profile page for the podcast, and I've got a group page. And I think I streamed to my profile, no, my profile page, and I'm going to stream it somewhere else next time because that just doesn't. One of the things that I could do is I can drop messages in chat myself, but I can't on Facebook to the page I'm streaming to. It has to be a special page. So what does it say here? It says if I wanted to post, I could post to pages. Yeah, pages. Groups, profiles does not work. So I have to go to pages. So I've got to figure out where my page is. And I think it's my podcast page, My Life and Welcome to It. You can see let me see if I can point to it right there. No, there, right there. My Life and Welcome to It. So I think that's where I could stream it and I can actually drop chats into the chat rather than, like if I had like a website that I was going to suggest, or people were saying, hey, where can I find that video? Then I could put a link to that video down and share it with people. But it would show up on YouTube and Twitch, but it would not show up on Facebook. So actually, let me see if I can do this real quick. I'm going to get the, where's the share key? Share. I'm going to go ahead and share this on YouTube and Twitch. And then next time I'll be able to, this is the Brinicle video right here. So it went to My Life and Welcome to It, a podcast, which is the YouTube channel, and it went to Twitch. So there you have it. That's the Brinicle video. So anyway, yeah, I am rarely at a lack for words. I can usually make stuff up, talk about anything. But sometimes, you just run out of things to talk about. There's not a lot, new in my life. Besides, I get older all the time. I'm kind of going to let my beard grow. I want to keep it trimmed sort of on the sides, but I'm going to let it grow fuller down at the bottom, like a fuller brush. Be like a Fuller Brush man. I got a friend who wants to be a guest, but he's traveling a lot right now. So once he's come back into Sacramento, I mean, I told him we could, you can do it from anywhere if you got your laptop handy, even your phone. But he really wants to wait till he's back in Sacramento, and I can appreciate that. So once he's back in Sacramento, then I'll have him on as a guest. And who knows, I might be able to coerce some of my other friends to be at least a guest for part of the show. Maybe not for the majority of it, but at least for part of it. I got a friend of mine who said they would like to be a guest, but there were things in their lives they needed to settle down. So once again, it pushes it back. So maybe, maybe by fall, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And you never know. You just roll with it, right? I'm doing this for fun. A lot of people do this to make money, and I do it for fun. And so even with my podcast, I promised myself initially, and I may have even said it, but I refuse to put up ads and monetize and do all that. And I don't want to work so hard. I don't want to have, Patreon. There's a thing called Patreon, and you can get people who will actually subscribe and commit to $1 a month or $5 or whatever, right? And then you're supposed to do special stuff for them. I'm too lazy for that. I don't do special stuff. I mean, I could probably but I don't. I'm just Mr. Lazy. So it's a hobby. It's fun, and I hope to bring people along with me in the fun. So we'll see. We'll see. So tonight, I look at the time and I think, I'm going to try to go for a full hour, but I may not. So if you've been with me or if you've just logged on, please say hello before I log off so that I know who is here with me. I can say hello back. And for those who have just logged on, you're going to probably want to see the recording because we covered a bunch of stuff. Talked about COVID. We talked about brinicles. If you don't know what a brinicle is, you definitely want to check that out. We talked about the moon wobble that's going to affect tides and floods. We just talked about a bunch of stuff. So, yeah, you want to see the recording. But so at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the call lines, bring that to a close, and the phone disappeared. Oh, when I threw up a COVID minute, it took the phone thing off and I didn't put it back up. So that's okay. That's definitely okay. But I sure do enjoy being able to spend some time with everybody. Even if it's nobody. But anyway, I've had a good time and I hope you've had a good time. That it's been at least part of it's been worth your while because it's, the time that we spend doing anything is time that we could have spent doing something else. So I'm very appreciative if you spent time with me. And I look forward to seeing you again next week, Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And until then, stay safe, stay well, and God bless you all.